Morning, everybody. Tuesday. Got a little bit of tea right here. It's going to be a good day. I think I've mentioned a couple of different times that I have autoimmune issues. And if you have them, you know what it's like to have flare ups. Everybody, there's 100 different kinds of autoimmune issues, which is crazy. And I know yesterday I talked about the Yucca app and stuff and what's in there and how it can tell you, this causes it, this causes that. So if there's 100 of them, which means they don't want to figure out what the problem is. That's what I gather. Instead of just saying, hey, it's 100 different foods and things that we're being susceptible to and exposure. Instead of naming off all that stuff, they just try to say it's in our body. But at least I digress. So I get these flare ups throughout the day sometimes. And sometimes it's a lot, like it happen multiple times throughout the day. But I've got pretty good on not having them during the day, and because I stay busy, I'm at work, I'm doing this and doing that. And what my flare ups show up like, one of them anyhow, is I feel like I'm having a heart attack. I can get like temporary blindness. My skin feels all itchy and stuff, and I'll get tingly all throughout my body, and my brain will feel like there's a sunburn on it. That's what happens to me. But if I stay busy, I kind of don't really notice it. The time that it's still worse for me is at nighttime. At nighttime, it's really bad because I don't have any distraction. My mind has nothing else to focus on except for what I'm going through. And it feels like whenever I'm laying down, like I'm falling into a pit and I'm having a heart attack and my skin's all crawling and stuff. So it's really, really bad at nighttime. It's really bad. And I've gone to the emergency room probably 8 times thinking I was dying. People think it's a panic attack. 9 years ago, they thought it was a panic attack too, and they were trying to give me medication for panic attacks, but I was still having them. And they masked it a little bit, but I was still having them. So autoimmune issues is SOB anyhow. But my point of saying that was I had a rough night last night. Really, really rough. There's when you go through stuff and you have a partner, it's a little bit different. Even though if that partner can't take it away, just them being there kind of helps a lot. But when you're going through it and you're isolated and you're alone and anybody you love is an hour's drive away from you, and the only people you can call is paramedics, you know what I mean? Because where I live, like I've said before, is a town of 3,500 people, and there's not much going on here. And she has family too here, but they've kind of cut me loose also. So I'm sure I could reach out to people, life or death, without a doubt, you know what I mean? But inconveniencing because I feel bad, I don't really want to do that. And that's just who I am. I'd rather be an island and I don't want to say suffer alone, but I don't want to use anybody to help me whenever I'm pretty sure I'm not dying, even though I feel like I am. So last night was rough. So I woke up this morning and I was thinking, I'm gonna sleep in and stuff like that. And I get up at 4 o'clock every morning, and I thought, I'm gonna sleep in. Then I thought, no, get your ass up anyhow and just go make you some eggs and go do your thing. And every morning I make myself a little breakfast. It's 4 eggs. I do the same thing all the time, pretty much. Yogurt, Greek yogurt with some this flaxseed stuff that I get from pumpkin seed with flax from Costco. It's not the best, but at least it's not cereal. You know what I mean? So it's not cornflakes or cereal or seed oils and stuff like that. But so it was a rough morning. It was a rough night last night. But again, I choose to not lay around and try to just wallow in it. I get up anyhow. So I went and did legs and I started on shoulders. And I think my body battery's a little tired. So I just said, what the hell with it. And I came back home. So I'm home eating my own little oatmeal with the peanut butter powder that I was talking about, Kerrygold butter, a little bit of cinnamon today. I like doing a little bit a shot of cinnamon in it. And then bananas I chopped up, and then honey. Again, I'm really into natural honey. Local, has to be local. It doesn't have to be. I prefer it to be local. But today's topic is going to be avoid the reset using no contact. Now, there's a lot of videos out there, and I've seen a lot of them too, about no contact, no contact, no contact. As a person that wants to believe in the power of love, no contact can be a bad thing in some ways, because I would be a fool to think that I don't know what God's will is. You know what I mean? And that's part of what the heart will tell you. You don't know what's really supposed to happen. You don't know what's really supposed to happen. But the other day, whenever I said that love is an action word, I did a video on love is an action word. You gotta apply it, and if your spouse isn't applying it, then you'll know that it's bullshit. So when I talk about no contact, I'm talking about after your mind has ascertained the truth about what's going on, not what your heart's saying, because your heart's going to be a sweet little liar to you. But after your mind has ascertained, hey, you know what? She's doing this, she's doing that, she's doing that. If she's not wearing her wedding ring, she's trying to be single. She's changed her Facebook status as soon as you guys file for divorce, to divorce or single or separate her. If she's done that as soon, then she's living her life as a single person. If she tells you she needs space, it's bullshit. She's trying to live her life as a single person. If all she does is tell you, I love you and I miss you, I love you, I miss you, but there's no action behind it, then she's trying to live her life like she's single. If she tells you, oh, I miss her home, I miss her home, I miss her home, but she never comes home to visit you guys, then she's trying to live like she's single. If she tells you, oh my God, I miss good times, I miss good times, but you guys don't even go on a coffee date or nothing like that, sometimes the separation's important. You know what I mean? If there's volatility inside of the house and you guys cannot not be pleasant to each other. I'm not talking about like breaking stuff and throwing stuff and violent stuff. I never support that at all. But I mean, where you guys are walking around, she's like asshole, and she's treating you bad, you're bitch, that kind of stuff. Then you guys do need to be able to have a little bit of a break. But so when your mind has ascertained the things that I just got done telling you, and there's more, and I'll probably have a list on this one and do a separate video on what is the truth about a woman not loving you. What are the signs you look for? But for today, it's going to be avoiding the reset with using no contact. Once you figured that part out, and it's hard, this is hard, and I fell at it all the time. I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. I fell at it. Oh, no, I'm done. And then I break down after, 3 days when she's texting me over and over. And it's natural to do it. It really is natural to do it. But there's a consequence that comes with it too. And luckily, I don't feel that consequence anymore because I've kind of moved on, even though I still break my own no contact rule. My mind tells me what's really going on, and that's that she's full of shit. You know what I mean? I believe in actions. Love is an action word, and when I sit there and I look at all the actions, my mind now is way over what my heart used to tell me, 100%. But I still break the no contact rule. But what I want to tell you guys that in the early stages, here's what's going to happen. Every time that this is after you're sure that the principles that I told you about you look for and you're able to ascertain that it's bullshit. That's what I'm talking about there. Because I believe love is the most strongest thing you should fight for also too. If there's difficulties in the marriage, you guys should all fight for each other. Like my mom always said, if it's not a question of love or trust, everything can be worked out. You understand that? Love or trust. If it's not a question of those two things, if you still trust her, regardless if you guys don't get along, if you still trust her, then you need to fight. If you still love her, regardless of you guys not getting along, then you need to fight. If you feel she still trusts you and she still loves you, you should fight for it. Marriage and vows and love is the most powerful thing, man. And it's super important to fight for that thing. And it breaks my heart that so many couples can't work through it, including my relationship too. But I'm at the point now where I see the truth of everything. So the no contact is one of the hardest things there is to do because the heart's going to control you for some people, it's going to be a month. For other people, it's going to be, 3 months. I don't know. But you're going to have an issue with trying to stay strong on the no contact. I did. And I still do, even though I don't have those emotions for her anymore, really. It still resonates from whenever we were together for 17 damn years. There's still the echoes and ghosts and it's kind of like smoke that's cleared and stuff like that, but it's still there. And, it's an image in the back of my head that draws me. And I still break it too, 100%. But in the early stages when I broke it, it reset me back to the ground zero on my pain. Always, every single time, every time. And I would be strong and I'd be okay and I'd be walking forward. And it's hard to be strong too, guys. It's really going to be hard to be strong because like I've talked about so many times, we're the Dragon Slayer. We want to be able to protect it. That's our little girl. That's our wife. It's in our DNA to be like that. So when we're trying to be strong for ourselves, there's a calling that's hardwired in us to want to go back and protect them and go back and protect the marriage and go back and save everything. The no contact is probably, once you're positive that there's manipulation involved in this, once you're positive, and I don't mean you have to have proof and see it and hand it to you, but you know the difference, man. You know the difference. When your wife does, more than 3 things that all say that she's bullshitting you, you gotta start thinking, okay, this is bullshit. But your heart will go, no, she still loves us and you still love her. You need to go protect her. You need to go show her what a good man. Don't listen to it anymore. And it's easier said than done. And I know, because I went through the first 2 months of back and forth, month and a half, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I'm unique in some ways. You know, because like I'm the one who initiated the divorce after she threatened it with me so many times. I'm the one who initiated no contact after she threatened it with me so many times. I'm the one who initiated the I don't love you anymore. I don't have those feelings anymore because I don't. I just don't. Sadly, she's hurt me so many different times and done so many different things that I'm able to really see who she is now. I don't have to pretend that, you know, I'm brave and I'm strong and this and that. I see who she is, you know, and like the things that she says to me, like even this morning, it's, you know, oh, I messed us. I feel so bad what I did when I was only trying to work on myself. And it doesn't even mean shit to me anymore. It really doesn't. It saddens me that a person thinks it might be, I guess. And somewhere inside of me, I'm sad that I'm not sad. But you know what, you guys, the number one thing you should practice is the no contact thing. And again, that's the hardest thing ever. It's going to be really hard. The deeper the love was, the stronger the connection used to be, and the longer the time that you guys were together, the harder it's going to be to initiate the no contact rule. But no contact puts you in a safe place emotionally. Better place, safer place, not safe, but safer and better place. Because what it does is it doesn't make you feel like you are doing something wrong and you have to fight for it again. It doesn't reset you back to ground zero. Remember we talked about the pendulum? This is kind of like the same thing. So the pendulum is going to swing where you're strong, then you're going to be broken. Then you're going to be strong, and you're going to be broken. But we want to try to do things that either ground you out to neutral, like where you're okay for most of the time, or you're strong. The strong will get there. I promise you guys. It will get there. You'll start seeing the sun again and feeling it on your face, and that little kid inside of you will come back out sometimes, and you'll be excited about goofy stuff that you haven't been excited about for a long time. Like, you know, for me, and I don't know why, man. I don't know why, but when I watch on YouTube, it'll show like dance videos where people are dancing and stuff like that. I'm like, man, that looks great. I did do kind of a one time kind of, but I want to go to a rave. I want to go dancing. And it's weird because I'm excited about that idea. I'm 58 years old. You know, I got degenerate disc disease. I got bad knees, but stuff like that. But I want to get out there and just boogie, 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 boogie and shake my booty. You know what I mean? And that's something I'm excited about. That's when you start knowing your pendulum is mostly good because now you're getting excited like a little kid again about some of the things too. And although I haven't yet, I am excited about the idea of going on dates, not to get romantically involved, but to meet new people, which is weird. I think I'm more excited about the idea of going out as a group of singles to do stuff. And whenever I get out of this, you know, little town I'm in, I will be able to probably find more groups like that. So every time that you break your own no contact rule, it's going to set you right back to almost damn near ground zero. The day that she left, or the day she told you she wasn't in love with you, the day she told you she wanted out of this marriage, the day she told you it's all your fault, or whatever it is. You know what ground zero is. That moment you go, what? No, no. That's ground zero. That's ground zero. And you probably have had 60 of them. But the strongest thing you could do to avoid getting back to ground zero is the no contact. It's also thusly the most hardest too. Because women, for the most part, all the women I've broken up with, or even I think only like 2 or 3 have ever left me, but they've always tried to get back into my life, and I've tried to get back in their life at some level because there's a affirmation you get out of it. You need a validation. You need to know that you were important at some time. So that's why we do it. That's why they do it. Everybody does it. And plus, I mean, it's you can't just pretend like there wasn't, you know, connection and love and emotion and all that stuff. You guys spent years together. You know, one time your hearts were beating as one, you know, and so it's going to be hard to separate that. But no contact gives you the ability to limit the heartache that's involved with it and reminiscing, because you're going to reminisce enough in your own head. There's going to be enough inside of you that's going to keep playing these old tapes of when you guys were together and walking on the beach, or when you first kissed, when you guys went to the local fair, and when you guys went to Disneyland, or when you guys went to the Bahamas, or when you went to Mexico, or when you went to Hawaii, and at one time your uncle was drunk somewhere and you know, you had a whatever, something. There's going to be all these memories because, you know, there were good times. You guys have to admit that. No matter what, you can't just look at a marriage and go, oh my God, I hate her forever, everything. You can't. And she won't hate you forever for everything either. Women are a little bit colder than men. You know, that's why there's so many songs and, you know, about women being as cold as ice and hell have no fury and yada, yada, yada. Because a woman will lock you up for the rest of your life. A man doesn't do that. Men do other things too, though. So in our own way, we're evil creatures too. A man will physically assault women, hurt them, and stuff like that. And unfortunately, there's a lot of dudes out there that will kill their woman if they try to leave them. And it's horrible, but women are more cold and calculated. Men are more brutal and raw. And doesn't mean one's worse than the other, but if you're still on the other side of being alive, the cold and calculated part will hurt a lot more. A woman will get your ass locked up for your life or whatever, and they will throw everything. I've had cops threaten me, attorneys threaten me, don't do funny stuff in court. I've had a woman that I used to date a long time ago. I don't know where she got the blood from, but she wrote, I love you on my car. I've had some cut up 1,000 little hearts and throw them all around my thing, stalking me. And I've had some that would have their kids call me, and then they'd call me back. How dare you not talk to my son? He's in it, And I've had, I've had some crazy relationships. Now I think about it, man, I really have. And those are the ones I could talk about here, in a general setting. There's worse. There's way worse. There's worse, but so you have to be able to protect your heart and be able to protect your mind. And I've done a lot of stuff about, health, and I've done a lot of stuff about taking care of yourself and your appearances and stuff. But none of that will matter. You have to push the body forward. But if your mind and your spirit is back here still and you're broken, it doesn't matter. You can't be too far separated from where you're living, from what you're doing, from what you're feeling. Those three have got to be kind of connected together. And if you have no contact, at least your spirit and your mind will start to heal and start to move in the direction where your body's going, no matter what. Because you have to move forward, guys. You have to move forward. And like I told you many, many times, we don't have a lot of time. We don't. And when I say we don't have a lot of time, what I mean is time is valuable and it's precious. The more you stay stuck in this mode of, oh, I love her, no, I know, you reset it. And eventually, that's why some dudes say it takes 3 years to get over a woman, because they're still going back and playing these old tapes. They're still going back and reliving it. They're still allowing them to interact with them. And a person loves doing that, man or woman, to the other, even if they don't want you. And I promise you, they don't want you, or they would be there. Real love will knock down the door. It will meet you at church. It will contact your family and hunt you down. That's what I feel like real love would do. If the roles were reversed, there's nothing that could have stopped me from coming back to my wife. Nothing, ever. Nothing could have stopped me. But when they leave you and you know it, then obviously you have to stop. You have to let it go. And if you follow the principles of no contact, it won't help. It will keep you from doing the reset over and over, reset over and over. Because could you imagine you're basically like climbing up this muddy hill, and you're doing good because there's like these weeds and stuff, and you're grabbing a hold of sticks and branches and rocks, and you're getting up there, but your feet are slipping a lot and stuff, but you're making progress. It's really, really hard, making really, really, really good progress. And then every now and then someone tells you, they yell out your name, hey, and when you turn around, you lose your grip and you slide back down. And then you start from the very beginning, you're hurting because now you still got to get it, because the goal is at the top of the mountain. That's where you got to get. You got to get up to the top of the mountain, because that's where the sun is. It's above the clouds. You got to get up there. You want some vitamin D. You want to feel good. You want the breeze. You want to see the mighty Creator. You want to see it all. You know what I mean? But you got to get up to that mountain. You got to get past the clouds and the fog and the rain and all the stuff that's down here, dark, where it's painful and hurtful. So every time that you turn around, whenever she calls your name, you lose grip of something, whatever it was you were hanging on to. And it's hard as hell to get past this anyhow, guys. It's already hard. And you start at the very, very bottom, and then you hate yourself again. Because I promise you, down at the bottom is nothing but pain. That's where pain lives. You know what I mean? You're going to carry enough of it with you. Because remember, I told you the heart and the body and the mind all got to go in the same direction. So if you're not pushing on all three of them, and your heart is still back there, then you're still stuck in the pain. If your mind is still stuck on there, you're still stuck in the pain. And if you don't get your body moving, like let's say you're watching videos and you're, oh, this is how I'm going to change my life, and you're doing that, but you're not practicing it physically, you're not doing nothing physically, then you're still leaving your body behind. You got to get all three of them going. You got to all three of them working in unison together. Have focus where you want to go. You want to focus to the top of that mountain. That's where you want to be, guys. That's where you want to be. And even at the top of the mountain, there might be some days where it's going to be a little bit gloomy, but at least you're up there and you're at the very top, and 90% of the time you're going to be above the clouds and the sun's going to be there. It might be cold sometimes, or maybe the forecast might be the clouds will raise a little bit or something like that. But that's where you got to get. We got to be able to strive to get past all that stuff, and no contact is what's going to help you. Because again, that little scale or that mountain that you're trying to scale, you won't fall back down every time. And every time you fall down, I promise you, that's a reset again and again and again. Luckily, I got up to the part where almost all the mountains dry. So even if she does call me, I turn around, I don't lose footing anymore. I don't lose footing anymore. There's probably an emotional, like I look back, I go, I miss that. I miss her, who she used to be. I do have that. I look back and I could see who she used to be. You know what I mean? And there's a little bit of cloudy judgment still going. Is that her still in there? No, it's not. Okay, it's not. But I don't lose footing anymore because I'm up here, still not the very very top. That's still going to take a little bit of time, and I would be a fool to pretend like I've already reached that point. But that's where we want to get. So I want you to practice no contact. Again, that's based on irrefutable evidence that she's moved on. And I don't mean you have to hold it in your hand and present it in court, but you guys know the signs, man. You know what it means whenever she doesn't follow through with what they're saying, and it's only love bombing and breadcrumbs and hovering is what they call it. And we'll do videos on that too later on. But basically, it just comes down to you have to ascertain if what's really going on and look at logically her actions. Don't listen. Do this. You ask yourself, is she trying to work things out? Is she wanting to go to a counselor? Is she really wanting to go to a counselor? Because one will say it, say it, say it, but if they don't even show up at church, then you know it's bullshit. If they don't ever try to date you, you know it's bullshit. If they never want to meet you at a restaurant, you know it's bullshit. If they block your family and treat your family bad, you know it's bullshit. If they tell your family, not their family, not to talk to you, you know it's bullshit. So you got to look for the physical stuff too. Even if she says she wants to go to counseling, even if she says she wants to see you, even if she says she messes you, whatever, if there's things that are not being done, then there's all the proof you need. There's all the proof you need. So we need to practice no contact. You're never going to get it right the first time. And if you do, please share on the video how you did it, because honestly, you could probably save millions of men a lot of heartache. I've never been able to do it. And I'm a very strong-willed person. I got a lot of spirituality, and I've got a lot of people that have been praying for me, and I've done a lot of surrendering and stuff, but I still haven't been able to practice it perfectly. But it is good enough to where, like I said, I'm above the clouds now. So when I do look back and I don't slide, I don't fall anymore. I'm not sliding all the way back to the bottom. Going, oh God, I wish it doesn't happen. I got past it. And if you guys want to listen to someone that took 3 years to heal over somebody, that's okay too. But this is literally, she moved out October 27th. Today's the 3rd of February. So, I mean, in 95 days, 96 days from the time that she moved out, this is where I'm at. That's amazing. That's amazing to be where I'm at. And sure, the house hasn't been sold yet, and that's going to be a sad time too. But, that's this house is too much for me, for a single guy. It's too much mortgage. It's too big. It's too far away from all the fun shit, and it is what it is. I mean, I didn't make these decisions. That's the thing is you got to remember too. Whenever you start to go through the divorce process and getting rid of the things and all this other stuff, these are decisions that you have to make based on somebody already making a decision for you. You just have to figure out what's the best way to get through that. So I love you guys. Remember, no contact. There's no perfect way to do it. But if you do it, I promise you, you will help to avoid the reset. You guys have a great time. Enjoy the week.